Okay, on first point defense, I usually put my pylon here. I will discourage putting it here. It's fine at the start, but when people start coming from there, they can see it, so I always leave it here. And if in any situation you're playing down here, you can just leave it down on the car. It's pretty nice, as long as the enemy team is not pushing in hard, but then you can move it. Another good pylon will be this one. You just come here and put it here. This one is really good if the enemy team is mainly on the top side. If they're playing around here, you wanna move this one though. They can't really see it up until like they really come in. Another good spot if that is not available and they're pushing in too far, I usually put it between the doors. You could also put pylon here, but I usually don't. But if you want to support maybe your with a soldier and playing around here, it's pretty good. I usually just leave it between the doors though. And if between the doors is not available, I always put it here. This one's much more defensive and nice for when the enemy team is pushing in. And if you don't want to put it on top there, you can put it here, like this. The enemy team cannot see this one up until they push in. And it has good healing range too, for when you play around here. This one I only put it here if I can't put it there, but I don't find it to be an insane pylon. It's more situational if the enemy is pushing very hard. Otherwise, I put it there, like that. Because I feel like that one is way easier to see, and I always have like an enemy sigma pushing that. When you lose first point, I usually put my pylon here, as long as the enemy team is not pushing hard. Otherwise, I always leave it. It's probably this if the enemy is not pushing again. Otherwise, I most likely always put it here. I leave it like this, unless the enemy team is really pushing very hard, and if they do that, I just move it back here. And if they push even further, I come back here and just leave it there. On the back row, you could also put it here, but this one, I find it the enemy team to push me very easy if I just stand here with my pylon. So I just prefer to just put it in the back. But this one works too. This spot here you can also use on defense. But I usually put it on attack when I'm poking the enemy team a lot. If they're stuck on spawn or something, I should just put it there. And instead of this pylon here, if you want a more safe one, you can put it here. This pylon down here, this one is good. Only if you're really playing the back or if Widowmaker is here. I don't usually put it here ever, because it's a bit too far away from everything. So, it's still good, but I'd rather just leave it here. And when they really push in very far, trying to contest, I just leave my pylon here. If you put on top here, after losing the second point, you can put pylon up here like this. This one's really nice only if you play on top, of course. And the enemy team cannot see this one, even if they're down here. And also, another pylon for top is to put it there like that. This one's really nice because it heals the top people. And it also heals the people down here. And it's protective, very nice. As long as the enemy team is not playing here, then that one is really bad. You could also put pylon here on top, but I don't like this one because I'm so used to having a soldier and throwing her bolt thingy here and then it gets destroyed, so I'd rather just leave it in the back. If you play on top here, I always put pylon here like this, because if somebody comes from that side, they cannot see it. It's very nice. Even if they rush in, usually they don't see that one for a while. And if you play around here, I always put my pylon here, because if I put it here, or well, you could also put it here, but I find it to be nicer here because it has more healing range. But if you put it here, it's very exposed, I feel like, especially if they jump here. If you're getting pushed by the enemy team, I always put my pylon in between these doors. And if they push too far in, you can put pylon here like this instead, so it's more safe. And we're getting pushed into this room, I like to put pylon here or on that side here. These are pretty safe up until they push it in, push further. And if you want to play on top, I usually put my pylon there. Because if somebody comes from the top, if it's like laying around here, I mean, it's not too bad. but I prefer just put it here, especially because if somebody comes from the top, I usually just back down a little bit, so this keeps on healing me. But you could also put it here, and if you play on top around here, you can put Pylon there like that. Or the safest will be to put it like this, just because if there's a tracer coming by, they come up, they usually see that one first before seeing that. There's also this spot here you can put on top of the lamp. The enemy team will only see it if they're playing down there. And if somebody comes from that side, they don't instantly see it because it's getting blocked with this pillar in here. But if they come across further here, they do see it. So I don't think it's great, but it's situational. If nobody's like around, you can just leave it here for a little bit. I still prefer to just leave it either here or on the other side. If you're playing very close, you could also put Pylon behind these plants on this side too. You can shoot through here, but usually they don't really notice it instantly, so you can move it after if anything. When you come out of spawn, you can put Pylon here on top, like that. Don't put it on the right side, because if somebody's playing there, they can see it. Otherwise, if you put it correctly, they don't. Same for this side. You come here and just put it here like this. Attack first point, you can put your Pylon here for the moment, and then you can move it here. You could also put it here. It's not bad. But I don't usually put it here because then it doesn't heal the people in here, so I'll leave it there. You could also put your Pylon here. Other side could also come from here and just put Pylon there. It has good healing range for here, so that works too. When you push up on the stairs, you can put Pylon here for now. And then when it's more safe, you can put it there. You can use the car spot again, only if the enemy team is playing on the bottom, otherwise from the top let's see it. Another spot would be to put it here, as long as nobody's playing on top again. And then once you play on top, when you're the one playing here, I prefer to put it here instead of here, even though this is good too, but it feels more safe to leave it there. And when you're playing around here, you can put Pylon there. It's pretty nice between the doors. And once you push further in, you can put Pylon like this. And if you're playing on this side, you can leave Pylon here like this. And like I showed on defense, this spot works on attack too, so it's pretty nice. You can put Pylon here too if the enemy team is getting pushed there. I would just be careful. It's not like the best spot because you can shoot it from down here in these gaps. So usually people don't really do that, but if they do, it's pretty bad. You can try and like put it behind this bar so it's more protected. I usually put my Pylon here like this, only if I'm like hard contesting and trying to like cap the point. Never put Pylon between doors like this on attack. They're gonna shoot it on the other side. If anything, if you want to play in the room, or if you even can, because usually you can't, but if you're like trying to cap the point, everybody's here, you can put it inside the room here. But I prefer to just leave it there. Once you cap the first point, you can leave Pylon here at the start to move up, and then you can move it here as you move in. And then I usually leave it here for when I'm trying to hit the enemy team and like trying to push. You could also leave it here. It's not bad, but if somebody from that side comes by, this one is destroyed. And if you put it too much on this side, then they will see it. You could also put Pylon in like this. It has a nice healing range for when you're playing around here. If you play around here, it's bad though. So I prefer to just leave it here. Once you're able to play around here, I like to put my Pylon behind this thingy, because if like a tracer comes by, they can destroy it immediately instead of like leaving it like this. Once you can push in further in, you can put Pylon here. And for when you're playing around here, I like to leave my Pylon here like this. It's pretty nice, as long as nobody's like here, but if you're playing on this side, nobody should be there. You can also put Pylon here. This is very safe and nice. And once you're about to cap, you can put Pylon here like this. You come here and just put it like that. If you have the time to, because usually when you're about to cap, you don't really have the time. But if you got a moment between, I would just try and put it there. Instead of like putting on top there. It's not necessarily bad, but it's exposed. I don't really ever put it here. You can put it here only if like your Sojourn is trying to play on top here, but I never find myself playing around here. If anything, I would just leave it there. Once you get the second point, you can start off by putting Pylon there if you're getting damage. And when you push in further, you can throw a Pylon there. If you want to push in the top and there's somebody there, I always leave my Pylon here like this, because if you put it here like that, they will see it on top, so just leave it here. It has nice healing too. But yeah, from this side they cannot see it, so it's nice. And if you really run here, you can put Pylon there. And for when you're playing here, I always leave my Pylon here like this. You could also leave Pylon here like this, because it's healing from here too. And if somebody, like the enemy is playing there, and they're also playing there, this spot is pretty nice. You just put it in the middle, and they cannot see it from either side. So it's also nice instead of like putting it there. And when you can push in further, I like to leave my Pylon here, on top here like this. Don't put it too much on the right side, otherwise the people from top can see it. But if you put it like this, they can't. You can also leave it like this, if you play down here. People from the top cannot see it. So I always like to put it like this instead of leaving it like that. You could also, if you're able to come on this room and put Pylon like this. So it's healing the whole thing here. And if you ever play inside the room, I put my Pylon here. Like this. I would prefer to put it on this side, but usually I'm not really able to walk in this far, so I just leave it here instead. If you play on the top and you're able to like contest this part, I'll leave Pylon here, because if somebody comes from this side and tries to contest top, they cannot see that one, so it's nice. And if you're able to push in further, I like to leave my Pylon here, because if I leave it like here or like even here like this, especially if they have like Genji or Hanzo, they usually wall climb and then destroy it. And for when you're playing here and the enemy team is on their point trying to defend, you can throw the Pylon on top of there. I like to put it up there, because if I put it here, they can see it more easily, like way more easily. Same for this side. Yeah. So I just like to really throw it on top. If we're like over time really trying to cap, I usually move it around here or on the other side here. You could also put it on top there, so it's healing the point, or on top there. Those are harder to see depending on the side they come from. I usually leave it there because they always come from that side, most of the times. So this works too. As long as nobody's playing on top, of course.